Alright, what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with the second part of my Elemental Hero Archetype video. And this time is going to feature mainly all the rest of the Elemental Hero monsters, some of Jaden's supportive monsters, and just round about the rest of the archetype. Now, it will not include Winkaribo because Winkaribo is part of the Karibo archetype. And the Karibo archetype itself will have its own separate video if I ever get the chance to do it. I might do it just because it is a combination of a lot of the mainstay uh, characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! You have Jayden, Yugi, what else? Yusei, I believe, has a... No, not Yusei. Luna has a Karibo. I know there is some variation of other monsters that have been printed that are Karibo-like, and that gives the Karibo archetype pretty much its own set and fuel. But we will be focusing here on heroes instead, and we have a lot of heroes to cover in this video. Now, some heroes I will have to say will be covered only due to the fact that they are not in the manga, they're not in the anime, but they are hero monsters, and that a lot of them do correspond with current hero builds. So because they are elemental heroes, they will be included in this. Aster's heroes sets, division in the Destiny heroes will get their own separate video, as well as the mask heroes, which are Jaden's other set of heroes, will get their own video as well. So that way I've covered all the heroes that need to be covered. So without further ado, you guys, let's get into this. So we'll start off with two of Jaden's known monsters in the manga. That is the Elemental Hero Heat and the Elemental Hero Lady Heat. So both of these monsters are both fire attributed pyro type monsters. These monsters are not like some of Jaden's others where they are warrior. A lot of Jaden's monsters in the manga happen to not all be warrior. They happen to be based off of attributes and elements as well. So Lady Heat's effect is that during your end phase, she will inflict 200 points of damage to your opponent for each Elemental Hero monster you control, while Elemental Hero Heat gains 200 attack for each Elemental Hero you control. The combination of these two monsters, of course, make up two of Jaden's Pyro monsters in the manga. One of them happens to be Elemental Hero Elemental Hero Inferno, which is which is one of Jaden's fusion monsters. Level 8 fire attribute pyro type monster with 2300 attack and 16 defense. He needs Heat and Lady Heat for his fusion summon. And when this card battles a water monster, it gains 1000 attack until the end of the damage step only. So this is pretty much one of Jaden's big hooray hurrahs for his monsters in terms of the manga. Now we're going to go on to the next monster, and this monster is actually Elemental Hero Ocean. So Ocean is, funny enough, two Elemental Hero monster fusions in the manga. One of them is actually Jaden's Ace monster, and the other one is a monster that many players are very known for when playing heroes. So, Ocean's effect is that during your standby phase, you have the option to return one Elemental Hero monster from your graveyard or on the field back to your hand. Elemental Hero Ocean can be paired up with Elemental Hero Woodsman, who is wood attribute. No, who's Earth attribute wood warrior type monster. I keep saying wood. Warrior type monster with 1000 attack, 2000 defense. And his effect is once returned during your standby phase, you can add one polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now, these two, when they're fused together, make Jaden's boss monster, the Elemental Hero Terraforma. This level 8 Earth attribute warrior type monster with 2500 attack, 2000 defense is Jaden's boss monster in the manga. His effect is that you contribute one other face-up Elemental Hero monster for him to gain the attack of that monster until the end of the turn. The Elemental Hero Ocean can combine with another Elemental Hero monster to make who's known as Elemental Hero Ice Edge. Ice Edge is also a level 3 Earth attribute water attribute warrior type monster with 800 attack, 900 defense. And his effect is that he can discard one card from your hand to allow him to attack directly. When he attacks your opponent directly and inflicts battle damage, you can select one set card your opponent controls and destroy it. Now, when these two combine, they actually make the Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, who, if you know him, is the polar opposite to Elemental Hero Nova Master. Funny enough, Nova Master was also used in combinations with Elemental Heroes Lady Heat and Elemental Hero Heat. For the Omni Heroes, those who are based off the elements, were actually used by Jaden in the manga as well. It's a lot of cards in the manga that were used by Jaden that don't get much recognition, just due to the fact that most of it was focused on his anime deck and his anime appearances within the series. But we're not going to leave a lot of Jaden's cards out, because when it does come to the fusion setup in the terms of his monsters in general, Jaden has a great assortment of monsters he can rely on and a great amount of cards to support. It's just they don't get much recognition, and most of them don't get printed, so you don't hear much about them. We move on to some of Jaden's other monsters. We have to talk about Elemental Hero Notes. So Elemental Hero Notes is a level 3 Earth attribute plant type monster with 600 attack, 1000 defense. So each time this card attacks, he will gain 100 attack but lose 100 defense. Then, when you control another face-up Elemental Hero monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks, and this card can attack your opponent directly. So, Elemental Hero Notes has a spell card called Rosebud, which has actually it in the artwork. It says to attribute one Elemental Hero Notes to summon one Elemental Hero Poison Rose from your deck or hand. So, here she is, the Elemental Hero Poison Rose. She's a level 6 plant type earth attribute monster with 1900 attack, 2000 defense. And her effect is you cannot normal summon or set her. You have to special summon her through the effects of Rosebud, and she cannot be special summoned any other way. When each time this card attacks, each time the card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, she will gain 200 attack, but she'll lose 200 defense. Just in a combination of how the Elemental Hero Notes is, where he'll gain 100 attack but lose 100 defense. Then pretty much her other effect is your opponent cannot target her for attacks. So she has that whole defensive setup to her as well. Oh no, she can only be targeted for attacks, so she can't be targeted by spells and traps. Which I don't understand why that's not put on there, but yeah, that is pretty much Nopes and Rose. Funny thing about Nopes' artwork actually depicts it as a woman or a little girl, and the Rosebud is part of the cycle of growth, and she'll become Elemental Hero Poison Rose. Poison Rose's artwork has actually been censored in the TCG because she does not look like that. She's actually wearing a full black top, and her breast size was reduced. The funny thing about that is that Elemental Hero Lady Heat is the only female Elemental Hero monster that did not get a change in her artwork. She is as original as she was in her manga form, in her card form. There was no changes done to her. So we move on to all the other Elemental Hero monsters. We have one more female Elemental Hero monster we can talk about, and that is Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. So Shadow Mist is Jaden's other dark attributed Elemental Hero monster. This normal summon, you can add one mass change. That's a summon you can add one mass change. Quick play spell from your deck to your hand. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one hero monster from your deck to your hand, except for Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. You only use one effect of Elemental Hero Shadow Mist per turn. You only use once per turn and only one effect that turn. So she is pretty much Jaden's dark monster, and she has a corresponding monster as well. We know that monster is Elemental Hero Escudaro. Escudaro is actually one of Jaden's Elemental Hero monsters, who is also part of the Omni series as well. And it is to believe that this monster is female as opposed to Elemental Hero Shadow Mist also being female, and having her artwork, I think, altered as well, because I believe the breasts were reduced. And it was also funny because this girl does not have any breasts. So I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is weird. Anyway, we go on to Elemental Hero Voltic, which is a light attribute thunder type Elemental Hero monster. So unlike Sparkman, it has, it's not warrior, it's actually thunder. In its basis of its effect is that if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one banished elemental hero monster and summon it to the field. Now we have elemental hero Flash, who is a level 4 light attribute warrior type monster. And his effect is if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and 3 elemental hero monsters with different names from your graveyard to target one normal spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. It's not a bad combination because you can get a lot of cards out of that. We move on to the elemental solid soldier, who's a level 4 Earth Attribute Warrior monster. His effect is that if this card is normal summon, you can set summon one level 4 or lower hero monster from your hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by spell effect, you can target one hero monster in your graveyard except Elemental Hero Solid Soldier and set summon it to the field. And you'll use that effect of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier once per turn. Next up is Elemental Hero Blaze Man, level 4 Fire Attribute Warrior type monster. His effect is when he's normal special summon, you can add one polymerization from your deck from your deck to your hand. During the main phase, you can activate this effect. You can access summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except for fusion monsters. Send one element hero monster from your deck to the graveyard. This monster's attribute, attack, and defense becomes the same as the monster that was sent to the graveyard. When you use this effect of Elemental Hero, you only use one effect of Elemental Hero Blaze Man per turn, and only once that turn. Then we move on to Elemental Hero Omni Neos. Honesty Neos. I said Omni Neos. Honesty Neos. So this level 7 light attribute warrior type monster who has the same attack and defense as Elemental Hero Neos is pretty much a combination of Neos when he used Honest in the anime. Funny enough, this is actually the exact artwork printed onto card with more detail to it. The effect of it is pretty much similar to Honest, but with Neos' stats. You can discard this card from your hand to give one elemental hero monster 2,500 attack until the end of the turn. While this card's on the field, you can discard one hero monster from your hand, and he will gain attack equal to the attack of the hero monster you discarded from your hand. You can use each effect of Elemental Hero Honesty Neos once per turn. Next up is a Neos clone known as Elemental Hero Neos Elias, level 4 light attribute warrior Gemini monster. And if you don't know much about the Gemini monsters, here's a quick list for them. Gemini monsters can be treated as normal monsters while they're face up on the field or in the graveyard. This card can get an additional summon of itself to become an effect monster as well, but that takes up your normal summon. Its effect becomes this monster's name becomes Elemental Hero Neos while on the field and graveyard. While on the field. So he has the same look as Neos. He's just a petite version of him. 1900 attack, 1300 defense, and this monster is known in the game as being part of course, the Hero Gemini deck, or like beatdown, or variations of heroes that use level 4 or lower monsters to beat down their opponents and take advantage of the fusion summons, because with a monster like this, it's a hero, it's light, you can just fit it into all the places that it needs to fit in. The last of the main Elemental Hero monsters is one of the most famous Elemental Hero monsters that you can possibly think of, and that is the Elemental Hero Stratos. Level 4 wind attribute warrior type monster, 1800 attack, 300 defense. When this card is normal or special summon, you can activate one of the effects. Destroy selling child cards on the field equal to the number of hero monsters you control except this card. Add one hero monster from your deck to your hand. This monster was so good in both the OC and TCG, it had to be limited. Then, throughout the time it was limited, most of the other Elemental Heroes and Destiny Heroes had to be limited. Some hero monsters had to be limited just due to the fact that this card made them strong. If you ever heard of words Big City, Little City, the Gemini Hero Beat, you have Hero Beat itself, you have Bubble Beat. Pretty much there was a lot of cards hit because of Stratos' effects. And that is both on his normal and his special summon. The additional thing about Elemental Hero Stratos was that Stratos was the only Elemental Hero monster to ever be banned in both the TCG and OCG. He was later released off both list, and at this current time, he is at 3 in both the OCG and TCG. So, yeah, heroes have one of their best monsters back in the game. Some other corresponding monsters for the hero archetype, we have the Phantom Magician. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can summon one hero monster with 1,000 or less attack from your deck to your hand and face up defense position. We have the Necro Gardener. This is a monster Jaden used in the anime. His effect is during your opponent's turn, you can manage this card from the graveyard. Negate the next attack this turn by a monster your opponent controls. This is a quick effect. And then we have one of Jaden's other known monsters, Card Trooper. Card Trooper was also hit on the list as well because it had great synergy with a lot of decks, not just heroes. So its effect is once a turn, you can choose a number between 1 and 3. Send that many number of cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Increases monster's attack by 500 for each card sent to the graveyard until the end of the turn. If this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. So that is all of the main monsters. Just for some monsters that we've missed, I think the only 2 monsters we've missed, we have Elemental Hero, Grand Marg. This needs 2 hero monsters. Must be fusion summoned. Gains attack and defense equal to the combined original level of the materials used for this monster's fusion summon times 300. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you contribute this card to summon 1 elemental hero fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring your summoning conditions, but it cannot attack monsters with equal or less level than it. This is actually one of the obscure elemental hero monsters. I don't believe this card is either in the manga or in the anime. But this was an elemental hero monster that did need to be accounted for. And then there was the last monster. This is elemental hero Core. This monster is actually an upgraded version to the elemental hero Terraforma, who surprisingly enough can help fuse for this monster. So elemental hero Core needs 3 elemental hero monsters for its fusion summon. Once a turn, when this card attacks a monster, you can make its attack become double of its original attack until the end of the damage step. At the end of the battle phase, if this card or is attacked or is attacked, you can target 1 monster on the field and destroy it. Then, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 elemental hero monster that's level fusion monster that's level 8 or lower. It's also summoned from the grave, ignoring its summoning conditions. So this monster and the elemental hero Grand Marg are pretty much 2 hero monsters that summon other elemental hero monsters and ignore their summoning conditions, which makes a lot of the elemental hero support even more playable than it once was. So that is pretty much it for all of the elemental hero monsters from the manga, from the anime, and were pre-released. I will have Neos up soon after this, and hopefully have all that together with the mask heroes as well. But I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. HPJ signing out. Take care.